This is Mac OS Ken.
Apple pulls advanced data protection in the UK, Travelin Tim takes a trip to the White House, and a big round of OS developer betas. It is Monday, the 24th of February, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Incogni. Take your personal data back and get 60% off an annual plan with code MacOSKen at incogni.com/MacOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Hey, remember a couple of weeks ago when the UK government reportedly secretly demanded that Apple give it blanket access to all encrypted user content uploaded to the cloud? Apple seems to have given an answer on Friday. I say seems because Apple has never acknowledged receipt of that demand. It can't, like it's legally not allowed to do so. The UK's Investigatory Powers Act, the law under which the country reportedly made the demand, makes it illegal to say that the UK government had made such a demand. I'm sorry, whether the UK government had made such a demand. Still, it seems safe to say Apple has acknowledged the demand and answered it. According to a piece from Engadget, Apple has disabled iCloud's Advanced Data Protection, or ADP, feature in the UK. In a statement to Engadget, Apple said, ADP protects iCloud data with end-to-end encryption, which means the data can only be decrypted by the user who owns it and only on their trusted devices. We are gravely disappointed that the protections provided by ADP will not be available to our customers in the UK, given the continuing rise of data breaches and other threats to customer privacy. As for folks trying to activate the feature in the UK now, no can do. A notification on Macs, iPhones, and iPads explains that Apple can no longer offer ADP in the United Kingdom to new users. Meanwhile, people who already had it turned on, the Cupertino company tells Engadget that customers will get a grace period to disable it, though it's not said how long that will be. As for other data, the piece indicated that iMessage, passwords, health data, and the like are still protected by end-to-end encryption by default. Apple CEO Tim Cook went to the White House last week, a trip about which he has said almost nothing. A piece from Apple Insider says the meeting lasted about 45 minutes, while another from 9 to 5 Mac had the CEO telling Fox Business Cameras that he had a great meeting with the president. While Cook has said basically nothing, Apple Insider could think of a few things the CEO might have wanted to discuss, tariffs being top of the list, manufacturing of Apple products, and keeping chipmaker subsidies alive in the U.S. may also have been points of interest. Filling the silence, as he's wont to do, was President Trump. A piece from Bloomberg had Trump telling a meeting of governors at the White House last week that Cook plans to ship manufacturing from Mexico to the U.S. Quoting the report, Cook stopped 2 plants in Mexico and will build products in the U.S. instead, Trump said on Friday, describing a meeting with the CEO at the White House the day before. The president also said that Cook promised hundreds of millions of dollars in U.S. investment. They don't want to be in the tariffs, Trump said. Mad props then to Apple Insider for getting 2 out of the 3. Tariffs were apparently discussed, and maybe manufacturing. Of course, Apple manufactures very little itself. There's that Mac Pro plant in Austin, if memory serves, and isn't that it? I might be misremembering, but I think that's it. For its part, Bloomberg says it's not clear what manufacturing facilities Trump was referencing, but Apple partner Foxconn Technology Group has a large manufacturing presence in Mexico and has announced plans to expand its footprint there. Foxconn manufactures the iPhone in Asia, and Apple relies most heavily on China for production. But Trump says it's Apple. A piece from Agence France Presse had Trump telling the aforementioned gathering of governors that Apple is investing hundreds of billions of dollars. That's what he told me, said Trump. Now he has to do it. Bloomberg had Trump telling reporters later on Friday he's going to start building very big numbers. You have to speak to him. I assume they're going to announce it at some point. Surprising no one, Apple did not respond to Bloomberg's request for comment. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Incogni, helping you take back your personal data. Take it back from whom? From data brokers, companies who compile info about you, then sell it. That's info that can be used to target you with ads, decide some insurance rates, sometimes even steal your identity. Incogni works to stop that. Make an account, give them permission to work on your behalf, and Incogni goes to work. Might feel weird giving them your information, but your information's already out there. Incogni helps take it back. Of course, you could do that yourself if you knew who the companies were, how to get in touch, and pretty much wanted that to be your full-time job. Since I started with Incogni, they've gotten over 250 brokers to pull my data, a number that keeps going up, saving me over 180 hours if I'd had to do it myself. Let them save you time and give you peace of mind. Take control of your data privacy today with Incogni. Get 60% off an annual plan with code MacOSKen at incogni.com/MacOSKen. It is a great savings, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. INCOGNI. Get 60% off an annual plan with code MacOSKen at incogni.com/MacOSKen. The Great Big OS Beta Parade is lining up once again. On Friday, according to a piece from Apple Insider, Apple hit developers with betas for the next anticipated round of operating system updates. That included the first betas of iOS and iPadOS 18.4, macOS 15.4 Sequoia, watchOS 11.4, tvOS 18.4, and visionOS 2.4. Not long after, Apple took a couple away. Or a subset of a couple. A piece on Sunday, also from Apple Insider, had the Cupertino company pulling the watchOS 11.4 developer beta specifically for Apple Watch Series 6. Additionally, the company pulled the iOS and iPadOS 18.4 developer betas for a number of devices, including models of iPhone 12, the cellular version of the 8th generation iPad, the Wi-Fi and cellular versions of the 4th generation iPad Air, and the cellular versions of the current iPad Air. The piece indicates that affected devices were bricked or put into a boot loop by the faulty betas. No word when or whether Apple will offer a fix for the suddenly useless units. The list of newness for the iOS beta is almost too big to go through. Like, Mac Rumors posted a gigantic piece under the headline, "Everything New in iOS 18.4 Beta 1," and they still managed to miss some stuff. Items tweaked and or addressed include, but are not limited to, priority notifications powered by Apple Intelligence, new languages for Apple Intelligence. Sketch style is at long last making its way to Image Playground. A new section for Apple News Plus dedicated to food, which is great. I can read my feelings instead of just eating them. Ambient music is moving to the control center, and there are better privacy indicators for the mic and camera on your iPhone or an iPad. And that list does go on. And yet, it misses stuff. For example, the Home app in iOS 18.4 adds support for Matter robot vacuums. Theoretically, the feature was in betas of iOS 18.3, right until it wasn't. Still, the piece from 9to5Mac says it's back. For a limited time only? We'll find out. News of a feature folks in South Korea have been waiting for a while. Another piece from 9to5Mac has code spelunker Aaron Paris digging through the betas, as he's wont to do, and finding unannounced stuff, as he tends to do. His latest find, according to the report, the Find My network is now available in South Korea as of iOS 18.4 Beta 1. Assuming the feature makes it to release, 9to5Mac says this means that South Korean citizens will be able to track their lost devices. It'll also help deter thieves, since the activation lock functionality relies on Find My. Kind of crushing the beta news over the weekend were both Paris and 9to5Mac. In addition to the Find My find, another piece from the site has Paris spotting support for another AI partner for Apple Intelligence. According to that report, in a back-end update pushed alongside iOS 18.4 beta, nothing kinky, Apple now includes both Google and OpenAI options for third-party models within Apple Intelligence. The piece is quick to point out that does not mean Gemini integration is coming in iOS 18.4, especially given all the other Apple Intelligence delays that have occurred so far. But they argue it does nearly confirm that it will come at some point in the near future. And won't it be neat to have a choice? Theoretically, we'll be able to leave the heavy AI lifting either to a company we're not sure we can trust, or a company we're pretty sure we can't trust. Choices. There's another new thing apparently coming in iOS 18.4 that everyone won't get automatically, though everyone can get it if they want it. Mac Rumors says iOS 18.4 includes a dedicated Apple Vision Pro app, which will show up on your iPhone if you have a Vision Pro headset that's also connected to your Apple account. If you don't, it can still be downloaded from the App Store. According to the piece, the app is meant to help people find content, get help, and learn about new Vision Pro features. The app should also streamline guest setup for Apple's headset, allowing that to be managed on the iPhone. That'll include controls for limiting what apps a guest can access, along with an option to view what the guest user is doing for guidance purposes. As for Vision Pro itself, a piece from UploadVR says visionOS 2.4 will bring Apple Intelligence to Vision Pro, a spatial gallery app, an iPhone app for remote installs, and a new iPhone and iPad-driven guest flow, as mentioned a moment ago. Specific Apple Intelligence features include priority notifications, notification summaries, smart reply, memory movie creation with natural language search and photos, priority messages and mail summaries in Mail, writing tools, image wand and notes, Genmoji, and image playground. And finally today, what does the question heads or tails have to do with Steve Jobs? His could be the head, it seems. According to a piece from Mac Rumors, California Governor Gavin Newsom last week recommended former Apple CEO Steve Jobs for the $1 American Innovation Coin for the state of California. This isn't one of those order now late-night TV deals. The piece says it will be an actual dollar coin minted by the U.S. Mint. According to the report, each state is able to create a unique coin recognizing an innovation or innovator from their region as part of the Innovation Coin program launched in 2018. As part of his recommendation, Newsom said Jobs encapsulates the unique brand of innovation that California runs on. While the design has not been finalized, California has recommended a coin with Jobs in his iconic turtleneck and glasses. Mac Rumor says the coin is expected to be produced and in circulation sometime in 2026. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Incogni. Get 60% off an annual plan with code macOSKen at incogni.com/macOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Leonard likes this post.